What is going on, everybody? So we got some big news for you today in this video. Stay tuned to find out what it is. Alright, so you're probably wondering what the big news is. Well, the big news is we applied for monetization for this channel back in November. Then there was a whole bunch of stuff. YouTube decided to completely revamp their methods. Luckily, we still fell into the criteria of allowing us to be monetized. Now, the problem is they had such a backlog, and that backlog caused us to be so far behind in the rankings because our channel was so small that we actually ended up like last in line for monetization. So basically I applied in November for monetization. We literally just received it last night on our live show, so super awesome for the channel. You guys are going to start seeing some ads. I'm going to try to keep them as minimal as possible, but please, if you can, you don't have to click on them. Just let them play. Get up, walk away, let them play. Helps me out, helps out the channel. Maybe we can get off of this GoPro at some point soon and maybe start building some cool stuff. So we'll be looking to put this channel on the map big time. Alright, so let's get into what we're doing on this fine Saturday. So basically, I don't know if you could see kind of off in the distance here, we have what I like to refer to as an Isuzu Chevy MC Trailblazer Voy. So basically, this is a 2004 Isuzu Ascender. It is literally a Chevy Trailblazer. It is also literally a GMC Envoy. It is also literally a Saab 97X. They are all the same vehicle. This is one of the things that I can't stand about the American companies is the fact that they rebrand, rebadge, and sell everything to other companies. So, needless to say, this truck needs a water pump. Now, the water pump is completely shot. We're going to be replacing it today, but I figured I'd film it because there are some nice little tips and tricks that you can use to make this job go a hell of a lot faster without having to, do anything crazy. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you guys along with taking this thing apart, getting the water pump out of it, put it back together, and, start to finish type of thing. I did recently do an alternator video on a Trailblazer, and that seemed to have, gotten a lot of attention. It helped out a lot of people, which is awesome. So now I'm going to do the water pump on this thing, and I'll bring you guys in and show you guys what I'm doing so that you can hopefully do it yourselves if you have a water pump going on these things. So let me get everything set up, and we'll be right back. So, you know how to tell when a water pump's bad? Just do this with it. That is obviously pretty bad, so we're going to replace that now. And we're going to start by taking off this fan, taking off this shroud. We're going to take this upper radiator hose off. So basically steps are going to look like this. Take this radiator hose off, then we'll move into the fan. I got a nice little trick I'm going to show you guys, and we'll go from there. In a second, I'm going to set you guys up, and you can follow along. I'll do a little bit of high-speed stuff just to kind of browse through it. But we're going to start by taking this hose off. Then we have a couple of bolts that hold this shroud on. Then we're going to take off some bolts down here, and I'll explain what we're doing when we get to that point. So I'm going to set you guys up. I'm going to knock out all the ancillary stuff, and then I'll come back with some information. Alright guys, so the one thing that has to happen with this is an electronically controlled fan clutch. Now, it's got this plug here that actually meets up to a connector over here. Now the problem that you run into, and you guys will be able to see this, is this whole shroud has to come out with the fan. So you have to undo the big fan nut down there, take this fan out, and the whole shroud and fan have to come out. Now the problem is you have this neck right here. Put a little light on that. This neck for the radiator actually hits the shroud. Now there are two methods that you can use to actually try to clear this. Now one is what I see a lot of people doing, is you cut here and cut here, and that will allow you to sneak this out enough and past the actual neck. Now the method that I use so that you don't have to cut the shroud is you actually take out, you can see one of them's loose right there, take out those 4 bolts for the actual fan blade itself. Then when you take the big nut off, the actual fan clutch will slide in towards the radiator and give you enough room to push everything forward enough to sneak it by that without having to actually damage the shroud. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to take these 4 bolts out now, get the big fan nut off, and then we'll get everything moving. Alright guys, now with all this stuff free, the fan is free, the clutch is free, and it's just sort of hanging in there, just be careful that it doesn't smash into the radiator when you're pulling everything apart. You have to kind of keep a hold of it, but you should be alright. Now, we should have enough room to actually clear the shroud past here. The only thing we have to do is down here, the actual transmission cooler lines kind of snap into the shroud, so we have to make sure that we pop those lines out real quick. Alright, so now we should be able to just lift everything out. Push it forward and lift everything out. So we'll see what happens. Go. And there it is, all out with literally millimeters to spare. We got it out without busting anything up. It is perfectly good. So that trick works. It'll save you a shit ton of time, because the way that they want you to do it is just, it doesn't make any sense, and it adds literally like 2 hours. You're supposed to remove this center support here, pull the radiator forward. I mean, it's an absolute nightmare, but if you do it that way, you can get everything apart without an issue. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to take these 4 bolts out before we take the belt off. We're going to grab the tensioner, take the belt off. We'll get a pan underneath here, which I kind of already sort of have. If I can push it the right direction. Yeah. We got the pan underneath there. We'll take these 4 bolts out, take the belt off, and then we'll pop the water pump out. So we're going to do that now. Alright guys, here we go. Get these 4 bolts out of the water pump pulley. And now we can grab the tensioner with a ratchet, 3/8 drive ratchet. And there's a little slot in here, the 3/8 drive ratchet fits just perfectly. And you're going to want to rotate this clockwise. Rotate it clockwise, it'll loosen up the belt. You can see the tension loosening up there. And then just take the belt off. If you're not comfortable with rerouting it, you can usually find diagrams online, or just take a picture of it before you take the belt off. That'll help significantly. Alright, so now we got the belt off. Now the water pump pulley. The water pump pulley might need a little bit of persuasion to come off. Sometimes they get stuck on there. So there's the pump pulley, and now it is literally as easy as taking out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bolts, and this water pump comes right out. Now, even after you've drained the cooling system, when you pull this pump out, you're going to get a lot of residual coolant coming from the engine block. So it is a very good idea to actually put a pan underneath it so it catches all the crap that's coming out of it. And yeah, it'll be a lot. No matter what you do, it'll be a ton of stuff. And also too, just try to clean off the area a little bit before you take the pump off so you don't get anything into the actual engine compartment or into the engine cavity itself that shouldn't be there. So we're just gonna hit up this old tool, start taking these bolts out. I'll give you a little bit more light here. There we go. Also guys, make note of the length of the bolts. In this particular pump, they happen to be all the same length. But water pumps on certain vehicles, they tend to be a little bit different. Alright, so here comes all the coolant. Alrighty, and there's your old water pump, and you can see that it was absolutely horrendous. Listen, it's bad. It's really super bad. So now what we're going to do, we're going to throw this in the trash, and then we're going to clean up this surface right here a little bit. And once we get the surface cleaned up, we'll put the new gasket on the new pump. We'll get the new pump in there, and then we're just going to do everything in the reverse, fill the cooling system, and we'll be done. So we're going to go do that. I'm going to get everything ready and bring you guys back. Alright guys, so we got everything all down here cleaned up. We got the new water pump ready to go in. So we're literally just going to kind of get an idea, match it up a little bit. Gasket stays on pretty good. Throw a bolt in there just to hold the gasket in place. And we'll slide it on. Now when you're tightening these down, you always want to do them in a cross pattern. So start with one corner, go to the next corner, and then just alternate all the way around. And I like to use a 1/4" drive ratchet so that I'm not tempted to over torque these things. There is a torque spec for them, and I can't remember what it is. It's not very much at all, and it's in inch pounds. But I found, you know, I have wrist torque. Never mind, we're going to cut that out. Yeah, just tighten them down. You'll feel when they're about good. alternate in kind of a star pattern. And if you've tightened 10mm bolts up before, you'll know about the limit before you strip the threads or break the bolt. So use your judgment, and if you're not sure, use a torque wrench. Alright, so there's that. We're going to stick the pulley back on. Once we get the pulley bolted back on, we've actually got to go and get a new belt because we forgot to get a belt for it. So we're going to go and grab a belt because the other one's pretty cracked up and we don't want to put that one on. But there's that. Stick the pulley on real quick. So we got the new belt, we are ready to put it on, and luckily with the Trailblazers, all you have to do with these things is clap twice and the belt will jump onto the pulleys like this. There it is. Now all we have to do is put the fan shroud back in, the fan back on, get all that stuff done, we'll be good to go. I'm going to put all this stuff back in. It is exactly the opposite of what you did to take it all out. So we're just going to fast forward through all this so you guys don't have to endure it again. And we'll bring it back when we got everything together.
I'm running out of time. Every day goes by so fast, and every moment counts, baby. I don't wanna miss a thing. We can sleep under the stars, we can sleep under the stars, or hang out in hotel bars, driving somewhere in your car. We can sleep under the stars, we can sleep under the stars, under the stars. Make the most of this night. Come on, baby, take my hand. And we don't need to do the things we don't want to do. Baby, why
Alright, so we got it all back together. Everything went together, and you obviously have a little bit of issue putting it back together because the things are tight and there's two little pegs on the bottom that the shroud needs to go into, and the transmission lines get in the way and all kinds of other stuff. But overall, it's not terrible. We bolted the fan back on. We got that all tightened up. We got the coolant hose back on. We got coolant in the motor. What we're going to do now is start it up, bleed as much of the air as we can out of the cooling system, and then we're going to fill the expansion reservoir over there to its proper level. So we want to start it now, make sure it's not making any noises, make sure the fan's not hitting anything, so we're going to go fire it up. Okay, so I didn't want to show you the whole bleeding process on that because it's kind of arduous. You've seen it a million times on YouTube, but we got it done. Now, what you just saw applies to Chevrolet Trailblazer, GMC Envoy, Isuzu Ascender, Subaru or Saab 97X. They're all the exact same vehicle. They all run either this 4.2 liter 6-cylinder or a 5.3 liter V8. In which case, the 5.3 liter V8 falls under the LS category. You look on YouTube, see how to do a water pump on an LS motor. They're easy. They're easy, easy, easy. So, doing it yourself, no problem. The part, relatively inexpensive. The coolant, inexpensive. The time you're going to spend with it, not much at all. So, if you're looking to do this, hopefully this video helps. You guys can save yourself some money by doing it yourself. And I hope there was enough information in there step by step to give you an idea of how to save yourself a little bit of time and aggravation when you're doing it. So, thanks for watching this video. I appreciate every single one of you guys. And again, we're monetized now, which is incredible. It's like a huge achievement for me and the channel. So yeah, we'll be seeing you guys a lot more often now with more videos on more various subjects. And we got some really cool stuff coming. So stay tuned. Have a great day, everybody.